The sun is my oldest friend. When it rises, its light spills across the endless grasslands and warms the ridges of my back. I lift my trunk to greet it, breathing in the dry wind that smells of dust, grass, and distant rain. My name is not something you can speak, but among my herd, they know me as the matriarch, the memory keeper. I have walked this land for 60 seasons, through storms, droughts, and the laughter of newborn calves. This is our home, the wide, breathing heart of Africa. The morning of life. Every morning, before the world fully wakes, I guide my herd toward the river. The calves walk in the center, shielded by their mothers and aunts. Their small trunks wave clumsily in the air like curious snakes. Around us, the grass bends beneath our steps, not crushed, only pressed for a moment. We take nothing without giving something back. That is the law of the wild. I watch my granddaughter Lyra tumble over her own feet, trumpet with surprise, and hurry to catch up. She is new to this world, still amazed that the same sky that holds the blazing sun also carries cold silver stars at night. I remember that feeling, though it has been decades since I first discovered my reflection in the still waters of the river. Our tusks mark our years, our wrinkles tell our stories, and our footprints draw maps across the earth. The river of survival. When we reach the river, I test the water first. The rains have not come for many days. The current is slower, and the mud clings thick to my legs. Yet even in drought, life gathers here. Antelope bending low to drink, giraffes lowering their long necks, and sometimes a lion watching from the shade, his eyes patient and golden. We know the lions well. They are hunters, yes, but we do not fear them unless hunger drives them to madness. We are too large, too strong, and too united. Even the bravest lion knows that to harm one of us is to summon the wrath of the herd. Still, I never let my guard down. The savanna is beautiful, but beauty often hides danger. The bonds that keep us. My herd is my family, my daughters, and their sons, until they are old enough to wander on their own. We speak in low rumbles that travel through the ground, messages that no human ear can hear. Through those vibrations, I know their hearts, when one is tired, when one is afraid, when one remembers. Memory is our greatest strength. I can still recall the scent of my mother's skin, the way her shadow fell across the grass when I walked beside her as a calf. She led us through droughts harsher than this one, across plains where not a single green blade grew. Yet she never gave up, and because of her, neither do I. When a member of our herd dies, we remember. We stand by their bones and touch them gently with our trunks. Humans call it mourning. We call it love. Even years later, when we pass that place again, we pause and feel their spirit in the wind. Echoes of the past. The humans sometimes come in their noisy metal beasts. They watch us through glass eyes, capturing our movements, our breaths, our moments of stillness. Most are harmless, filled with wonder. But not all. I remember the night of thunder, not from the sky, but from weapons. My sister fell that night. She was strong, her tusks long and beautiful. The men came for those tusks. I can still hear the sharp cracks, smell the fear in the air, and feel the earth tremble beneath her fall. We tried to save her, but they took what they wanted and vanished into the dark. After that, I led my herd far from the paths where humans walk. I learned to read the signs, the smell of fuel, the metallic hum that precedes their machines, the unnatural silence that follows. Still, not all humans bring harm. Once, during the dry months, when one of our calves was trapped in a pit left by the rains, it was humans who helped free him. They came in the heat of day, working together to dig a slope, shouting words I did not understand. We watched from a distance, hearts heavy with worry, until the calf stumbled free and ran back to us. The humans cheered. For a brief moment, I felt the line between us fade. The rhythm of the land. As the sun climbs higher, the savanna hums with life. Zebras move in shimmering waves, their stripes flickering like heat. Wildebeests kick up dust as they graze. Overhead, vultures circle, patient watchers of fate. We elephants shape the land as we move. When we pull down branches, new light reaches the earth below. When we dig for water with our tusks, others come to drink from the wells we leave behind. The savanna breathes because we do. In the afternoons, when the air turns heavy and still, we rest beneath the acacia trees. The calves sleep between us, their soft breaths blending with the buzzing of insects. I close my eyes, feeling the pulse of the earth beneath me. It is an old rhythm, older than any herd, older than even the rivers that carve through the land. Storms of dust. This year, the dry season has lasted longer than ever before. The river shrinks a little each day, and the grass becomes brittle beneath our feet. We must walk farther now to find food, sometimes through lands that belong to other herds. It is not war, but it is tense. When two matriarchs meet, we face each other quietly. A single movement, the lift of a trunk, a deep rumble, decides whether we share the water or turn away. Once, when I was young, I believed the savanna was infinite. Now I know better. The land changes, the rains shift, and the humans' roads grow wider. Still, we move forward, guided by memory and instinct. One evening, as the sun bled red over the horizon, we found a watering hole nearly gone. A family of buffaloes stood there, glaring at us with suspicion. I rumbled softly, telling them we meant no harm. They backed away, leaving only enough water for a few of us to drink. I let the calves go first. In times of hunger or thirst, the young always come before the old. That is the rule I have lived by. Night voices. When the night falls, the savanna transforms. The air cools, and the world glows silver under the moon. The hyenas laugh in the distance, their voices rising like mad echoes. Owls watch from the trees, and the wind whispers secrets through the grass. We huddle close, a fortress of bodies around our sleeping calves. The stars above seem endless, and sometimes I wonder if our ancestors walk among them. I tell the young ones stories, not in words, but in rumbles and gentle touches. I tell them of the great migration, when the sky darkens with birds and the ground trembles with hooves. I tell them of rivers that once ran so full they sang, and of trees that stretched tall enough to touch the clouds. They listen, eyes half closed, dreaming of a world both ancient and alive. Whispers of change. Lately, the wind has brought new scents, the smell of smoke, of strange metal. The humans are building again, farther into the wild. The other herds speak of fenced lands where the grass grows green but untouchable. I do not understand why they need to take so much. The land provides for all who respect it. One morning as we traveled east, we saw a machine tearing through the soil. The calves froze, trumpeting with confusion. I stood tall, flaring my ears, and the humans inside the machine stopped for a moment. One of them lifted a device, perhaps a camera, and pointed it at me. I stared back, unblinking. In my eyes, they might have seen the reflection of what they are destroying. A mother's promise. That night, we reached a valley I remembered from my youth. Green, quiet, untouched by the noise of men. I knew it would not last forever, but for now, it would be enough. As the herd settled, I watched the calves play in the soft moonlight. Lyra, my granddaughter, climbed a small mound and raised her trunk high as if declaring herself queen of the world. Her laughter echoed through the night. I smiled, or what passes for a smile in one such as me. This is why we endure. For them. For the ones who will walk the same paths long after I am gone. The stars seemed to pulse brighter that night, and I felt my mother's spirit beside me, guiding, watching, remembering. End of Part 1. The Heart of the Savanna. Part 2. The Legacy of the Giants. Will continue the elephant's journey as drought, danger, and human encroachment test the herd's strength and spirit. The stars fade when the first light touches the horizon. The savanna breathes again, waking slowly from the cool calm of the night. I raise my trunk toward the sky, tasting the wind. It carries the scent of dust, dry and sharp. The rains are still far away. My herd stirs behind me, heavy footsteps pressing into the earth. The calves yawn and stretch their trunks across their mother's sides. We survived another night, but survival is not living. Living is when the grass grows thick, when the river hums with life, when the little ones play without fear. We have not known such days for many moons now. The drought deepens. The land is thinning. Even the acacias stand bare, their thorns brittle like old bones. When I pull at their branches, the bark flakes off into dust. We must walk farther with every sunrise. For elephants, distance is memory. My mind carries maps older than the oldest tree, watering holes long buried, secret paths hidden by time. But even memory begins to fade when the land itself forgets. We travel silently through golden emptiness. The heat shimmers above the ground like a ghost. Occasionally, we meet other herds, thin, weary, their matriarchs looking as old as the hills themselves. We greet each other with deep rumbles, exchanging wordless understanding. No greetings, no farewells, just survival. The The calves grow restless. Lyra, my spirited granddaughter, often walks beside me, her eyes searching the horizon. She asks, in her young way, "Grandmother, when will the green return?" I tell her, "When the sky remembers how to cry." It is the only truth I know. The stranger in the wind. One afternoon, as the sun hung white and unforgiving, we came upon something strange. A long silver line cutting through the savanna. It shone like a river, but did not move. I approached carefully, my trunk brushing the hot surface. It smelled of metal and oil, the scent of humans. Beyond it, tall poles stood with wires that sang softly in the wind. The calves stayed behind me, trembling. They did not understand. Then came the noise, a deep, rolling thunder unlike any I had heard. A giant metal beast rushed past, faster than a cheetah. The earth shook beneath its weight. Lyra screamed and stumbled back. The herd panicked, trumpeting in confusion. I called out, a long, commanding rumble, and they gathered behind me. My heart pounded, but I stood firm, watching as the machine disappeared into the horizon. It was gone as suddenly as it had come, leaving only silence. I have seen many things in my long life, but this felt different. The humans were not just visitors anymore. They were changing the very bones of the land. The shadowed valley days later, we reached a valley I remembered. Lush once, but now pale and dry. The waterhole was nothing but cracked earth. The herd began to murmur, restless and afraid. Then, faintly I heard it, the whisper of running water. Not from the valley, but beyond it. I followed the sound, leading them over the ridge, through thorny brush, until we found a narrow stream hidden between rocks. The water was shallow but cool, a gift in this dying season. The herd drank greedily. Calves splashed, their joy returning for the first time in many days. I watched them, my heart swelling with pride and sorrow all at once. We had water, for now, but I could sense something in the wind. Change, vast and unstoppable. The fire sky. It came at dusk. A red glow lit the horizon, not from the sun, but from fire. Smoke rolled toward us, thick and choking. Birds fled overhead, their cries sharp and panicked. We moved quickly, my herd pressing close behind me. Flames licked through the dry grass, racing faster than any creature could run. The heat bit at our skin, sparks burned our ears. I trumpeted for them to follow me toward the open plain, away from the trees. The calves stumbled, coughing. One of them, a young bull named Tano, fell. His mother screamed, but I turned back, wrapped my trunk around his, and pulled with all my strength. Together, we dragged him until we reached bare earth. There, under the orange haze, we stood, black silhouettes against a burning world. It took the night for the fire to pass. When dawn came, the savanna lay in silence. The trees were bones, the air heavy with ash. The calves clung to their mothers. I felt old that morning, older than the sky itself. A flicker of hope. We walked for days after the fire, until the land softened again. At last, on the fifth morning, clouds gathered, thick and gray. Thunder rolled across the horizon. The rain came not as a drizzle, but as a roar. It struck the ground like applause from the heavens. The herd raised their trunks, trumpeting with joy. I closed my eyes, feeling the water wash the dust from my skin, the earth drinking its fill again. Grass would return, trees would bloom. Life, stubborn as ever, would rise from the ashes. But I knew our trials were not over. The fallen giant weeks passed, and the land began to heal. The calves grew stronger, their laughter echoing once more. We found a new waterhole, deep and brimming with rainwater. Yet one morning, as the mist lifted, I realized one of our oldest bulls, Baraka, was missing. He had wandered off during the night. I followed his scent through the grasslands, my heart heavy with worry. When I found him, he was lying near a cluster of trees, still, silent, his great tusks gleaming in the soft light. Around him stood two humans, dressed in green. They were not hunters, their faces were sad. One knelt beside Baraka and touched his forehead. I stepped forward, my rumble low and warning. They looked up but did not run. The woman among them whispered something softly, her eyes wet. Then they stepped back, leaving small flowers beside him before they drove away. I stood there for a long time, touching his tusk with my trunk. Baraka had lived a long, proud life. He was the strength of our herd once, the guardian of our paths. His end came peacefully, under the open sky, not to bullets, but to time. When I returned to the herd, I carried his scent with me. The calves touched my trunk, understanding without words that one of us had gone to the great herd beyond. The lesson of the old tree. Near the edge of our new home stands a tree so vast that its roots seem to hold the world together. I often rest beneath it, watching the horizon where the grass meets the sky. One evening, Lyra came to me. She is nearly grown now, taller, wiser, her tusks small but bright. "Grandmother," she said in her gentle rumble, "why do we keep walking? Why not stay where there is water and food?" I looked at her, the reflection of the sunset glimmering in her eyes. "Because," I said, "the land changes, and so must we. The savanna gives, and the savanna takes. If we do not move, we forget how to live." She was silent for a while, then nodded. She would understand one day, when it was her turn to lead. The night of stars. That night, the sky was the clearest I had ever seen. The stars blazed like fireflies frozen in time. I felt my mother again, and her mother, and all the giants who came before me. Their voices were in the wind, whispering through the grass. They said, "We are never gone, only changed." The calves slept. The young bulls dreamed of independence. The mothers rested their tired legs. I stood alone for a long while, watching the heavens until dawn brushed the world with gold. Passing the crown. Seasons change without asking permission. My steps grow slower now. I feel the weight of the years in my bones, in my tusks, in the memories that cling to me like dust. But I am not sad. I have seen life begin and end, have felt both terror and triumph. I have carried the stories of my kind across generations. Soon, Lyra will take my place. She already leads with patience, her rumble calm and sure. The herd listens to her now, as they once listened to me. It is the way of all things. When I lie down to rest one last time, I will not be afraid. I will feel the earth beneath me, the wind over my skin, and know that the land remembers us. Every footprint, every tear, every trumpet, they all become part of the savanna's song. The legacy of the giants. To be an elephant is to remember joy and sorrow, rain and drought, life and loss. To remember that we are not rulers of the land, but its guardians. Humans call us gentle giants, but we are more than that. We are the echo of ages, the keepers of balance. Where we walk, the world heals. Where we die, new life grows. Someday, when the humans finally learn to listen, truly listen, they will hear our song carried by the wind. It is the sound of love, loss, and eternal endurance. And when they do, perhaps they will understand that this earth was never theirs alone. As I lead my herd toward the rising sun one final time, I feel the pulse of life around me. The birds returning, the grass lifting its green face, the sky wide and open once more. I raise my trunk and let out a deep, echoing trumpet that rolls across the plains. It is not a cry of sorrow, but of pride, for we are the elephants of Africa, the ancient ones, the memory of the earth, and the heartbeat of the wild.